50 years of research, writing, thinking, exploring, all by one man, Carl Gustav Jung, just to deliver a single, profound truth to us. But what was it? If we could condense everything Jung ever said into one core message, what would it be? Have you ever thought about that? Before we go looking for answers, let's talk about the man himself. Carl Jung wasn't just a psychologist, he was the architect of the human soul. They called him the father of analytical psychology, the discoverer of archetypes, the surgeon of the unconscious, the man who dared to explore the darkest corners of the human psyche, where even Freud hesitated to go. Jung wasn't just building theories, he was mapping a galaxy inside the human mind. But now the real question. Jung gave us many powerful ideas. Archetypes, shadow, persona, synchronicity, the collective unconscious. But if we had to pick just a few that truly matter for our everyday lives, which ones would actually help us live better? Let's not just explain them. Let's feel them. Let me take you into a story. There was once a young student who came to a Zen master and said, "Master, I want to learn more. Read more, understand more." The master smiled, picked up a teapot, and began pouring tea into the student's cup. The cup filled, then overflowed, and still the master kept pouring. The student panicked. "Master, the cup is full." The master looked him in the eye and said, "Exactly, just like your mind. Until you empty it, nothing truly meaningful can enter." That's exactly what Jung believed. He said, knowledge is useless if it doesn't bring you closer to your true self. And to prove it, let's borrow a mysterious insight from Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci believed that if you could draw a single flower in full detail, you could understand the structure of the entire universe. Why? Well, because the whole is reflected in every part. And Jung, he said something almost identical. Within every person lies the image of all humanity. Which is why he told us, go within. Everything you seek is already there. And now, the big question. Why are we even here? Why were we born? Is life just about survival? Or is it about discovering who we really are? Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine walking through a hall of mirrors, each one showing a different version of yourself. One mirror shows you as angry, another as successful, another as afraid. But one of them, only one, shows who you truly are. Jung called this journey the process of individuation, the search for the authentic self hidden beneath all the roles, masks, and expectations. And guess what? Just now you've understood one of Jung's most important ideas, without even realizing it. And if that sparked something inside you, wait until you hear what's coming next. Because in the next part, we'll unlock a story so ancient and symbolic, it will show you another one of Jung's most powerful insights, one that might completely change how you see your relationships, your identity, and the world around you. Let me tell you a story from ancient Rome. There was a god named Janus, the god of transitions, doors, beginnings, and endings. But what made Janus unique was this. He had two faces. One looked to the past, the other to the future. He stood between what was and what could be. Jung loved myths like this, not because they were old, but because he believed every myth hides a psychological truth. And Janus, this two-faced god, is the perfect symbol for one of Jung's most essential concepts, the divided self. According to Jung, we all carry two sides inside us. The side we show the world, polite, social, successful. Jung called this the persona, and the hidden side we often avoid, the one full of insecurity, anger, fear. He called this the shadow. But here's the twist. Jung didn't say the shadow is bad. He said it's the forgotten part of us. And if we ignore it, it grows stronger in the dark. But if we face it, it becomes our power. Let me bring this to everyday life. Imagine you're at work. You're calm, friendly, professional, always keeping it together. Then one day someone makes a small comment, and suddenly you explode. You surprise everyone, even yourself. That outburst, that wasn't random. That was your shadow trying to be seen. Jung said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms." So what can we do? Simple. Be honest with ourselves. Not perfect, not polished, just honest. Because the shadow isn't there to destroy you, it's there to complete you. So here's the good news. Right now, you've not only understood one of Jung's deepest ideas, you've also seen how it plays out in your daily life. From now on, every time you feel overwhelmed in a relationship or fake a smile in a conversation, ask yourself, is this really me or just my mask? That single question might just change how you relate to the world. If this message connected with you, like this video, not just to support the channel, but because someone else out there might need this moment of clarity too. And now, there's just one more thing left. A part of Jung's work that feels almost mystical. A truth about why we feel what we feel, even when there's no logical reason. If you're ready to go even deeper, part 3 is where things truly begin to unfold. Carl Jung once said, "You are not alone, even when you think you are." Let me tell you why this sentence might be one of the most important things you'll ever hear. Jung believed in a concept called the collective unconscious, a shared layer of the mind that connects all human beings. He said that beneath your personal experiences, thoughts, and emotions, there's a deeper structure, a universal mind we all tap into without knowing it. Think of it like this. You're not just an individual walking through life. You're a single ripple on the surface of a much bigger ocean. And everything you feel, every deep intuition, every dream, every symbol, could be part of something far greater than just you. Let me show you how this works in everyday life. Have you ever cried at a song in a language you don't even understand? Felt chills reading ancient poetry? Or sensed an energy in a room even when no one was talking? That's not imagination. Jung believed that's the collective unconscious speaking through you. It's why myths from different cultures, even ones that never interacted, contain the same characters. The hero, the mother, the shadow, the trickster. These are archetypes, psychological patterns that live in all of us, across space and time. Here's a simple real-life example. You walk into a meeting, no one says anything, but you feel the tension in the air. You don't know why, but it's there. That's the collective unconscious at work, an invisible emotional field we're all constantly transmitting and receiving. Jung believed this. If you bring peace into yourself, you're not just helping you, you're healing the system. Just like one calm drop can ripple across the entire lake. So what have you learned now? You've discovered that your inner world isn't isolated, your struggles aren't unique, and your growth, even if it feels small, matters more than you realize. Because every time you heal, every time you become more authentic, more aware, more grounded, you lift the entire field. That's the magic of Jung's collective unconscious. If this part of the journey made something click inside you, like this video, not for us, but so someone else out there can find it at the exact moment they need it. And if you're still with me, in part 4, we'll uncover Jung's final truth, the idea he believed could transform not just your psychology, but your entire life. There's an old legend from the Alps. Centuries ago, in a quiet monastery hidden in the mountains, an old monk heard a strange sound echoing from the peaks. A deep, ringing bell no one had ever heard before. The villagers were terrified. One said, "It's the sound of death." Another whispered, "No, it's God's warning." But the monk smiled calmly and said, "No, it's the voice inside us, finally brave enough to speak." Most didn't understand him, but Carl Jung would have. Because for Jung, the deepest truth of human psychology wasn't about fear or dysfunction. It was about transformation. And he called this process individuation, the journey to become your true self. Jung believed that each of us is born whole, but somewhere along the way, we forget who we really are. We live through other people's expectations. We play roles. We wear masks. We bury parts of ourselves. And then one day, if we're lucky, something breaks. Something inside us says, "This isn't me." That moment, That's when the real journey begins. Not a journey outward, not about success, status, or approval, but a journey inward to meet the self we abandoned. Let's make this real. Imagine you spent your whole life becoming what others expected. A good child, a responsible adult, a successful professional. You checked every box, but one morning you wake up feeling hollow. That emptiness, that's not failure. That's the call to return home to yourself. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And the path to that, facing the shadow, removing the mask, listening to your inner voice, no matter how quiet, how inconvenient, how uncomfortable. So now, let's take a step back. Across these four parts, you've learned about the persona, the mask we wear in society, about the shadow, the hidden parts of us that carry pain and potential, about the collective unconscious, the shared emotional network connecting us all. And now about individuation, the ultimate goal, to become whole, authentic, and free. You didn't just learn theories, you lived them through stories. You saw them in your own life, and that means your journey has already started. Final CTA, call to action. If this series helped you see yourself differently, even for a moment, hit like. Because this isn't just about content, it's about connection. And maybe, just maybe, someone else out there needs this message too. Let them find it through you. Final comment. I thought I was broken for needing solitude, for not fitting in, for asking deeper questions. But now I see I was never broken. I was just becoming. As Jung said, "He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens." So look within, because everything begins there.